Hello everyone, I am Prankur Gupta and today we are going to understand method overloading in Java. Now, method overloading is a feature that allows a class to have more than one method with same name but having different argument list. It means that in a class we can have two methods with same name but their parameters must be different. Arguments means parameters which must be different. Now we will see in my next slide how these parameters can be different. Okay. Now it is also known as compile time polymorphism. How it is known as compile time polymorphism, we will also see that with the help of example. Now here is a simple class in which we have two methods with same name but having different argument list. Why? Because here I am passing int and here I am passing float. We will see some other conditions which needs to be satisfied for achieving method overloading. Now let us see first those conditions which needs to be satisfied for achieving method overloading. Now here first condition is function name must be same. We know that if we want to achieve method overloading in a class, then two functions must have same name. The next one is return type may or may not be different. It means that if we are doing method overloading, then two methods can have same return type or they can have different return type. So it is not dependent on only return type. Okay. Now let us see the third condition. The third condition is, which is very important, the function signature must be different. The function signature means it is now depending upon three conditions, which are number of arguments, sequence of arguments, and type of arguments. Now function signature can be different in three ways. Either number of arguments can be different, or sequence of arguments can be different, or types of arguments can be different. If any of these three conditions get satisfied, okay, then this third condition will get satisfied. It means that if number of arguments get different, then this function signature will get different. Okay, now let us see with the help of example how we can achieve these three conditions. Okay, now here is example in which first example I have basically created two functions in which function names are same. Here is go and here is also go. So now return type, it is not dependent on return type, so either return type can be different or can be same. Okay, so it is not dependent on that. Now the next one is for achieving third condition, which is signature must be different. We have three conditions out of which one condition can be satisfied. Now here the first condition, which is number of arguments. Now number of arguments must be different. So number of arguments are different. Yes, here are two arguments. Here in second method we have three arguments. So it is satisfying the first condition, which is number of arguments. So automatically signatures are different. Okay, so it is we can achieve method overloading with these two functions. Now let us see one more example. Here function names are same. Okay, the return types may or may not be different. And for achieving third condition, here number of arguments are same but sequence of arguments are different. Here we have int float and here we have float int. So here sequence of arguments are different, so it can be achieved. So with these two functions we can achieve method overloading. Now let us see other example. Here number of arguments are same, sequence of arguments is also not dependent because we have only one argument, so sequence of arguments we can't see the sequence of arguments. Now types of arguments are different. Here we have int and here we have float, so signatures are different. So these are the three examples of method overloading. Now let us see one more example with multiple functions. First let us see in this class whether these all functions can are satisfying the conditions of method overloading. Let us see. Here we have int a and here we have float b. So types of arguments are different, so it is satisfying method overloading condition, which is signature must be different and function names are already same. Now let us see these two. Now here we have number of arguments are different. Here we have one argument, here we have two arguments, so it is satisfying number of arguments. So these both are also satisfying method overloading. Now let us see these both. Now here sequence of arguments is different. Here we have float a and int b, here we have int a and float b. So these all methods are satisfying the method overloading conditions. Now let us see what will happen when we going to call this display function. Now here I have created the object of this class in which FOD is a reference, and using FOD I can call these four functions. Okay, now this is a process known as compile time polymorphism. Why? Because here object is behaving. What is polymorphism? When an object is behave different in different situations. So here actually object is behaving differently for same functions. How? Because one object can call 4 different types of functions using same function name. So it is actually known as polymorphism. It can behave differently for same name functions. So that is why it is known as polymorphism. And why it is known as compile time polymorphism? Because the process of selecting one of these from one of these functions is known as is actually handled at compile time. So that is why it is known as compile time polymorphism. Okay, so basically the process of choosing one of the methods from different alternatives is known as by an object is known as compile time polymorphism. Okay, so here if we pass the argument 1, then it is going to call this function. If we're going to call 1.5f, now we know that this is a float value, so it will going to call this function. And if we pass 1.1 comma 3.5f, then it is going to call this function. Okay, sorry, this function, because here first we have int and then we have float. So here basically object is behaving differently for same name functions. Okay, so it is, this process is happening at compile time. So that is why it is known as compile time polymorphism. As we can see in the output also, first integer is passed, it is printed, then float is passed, it is printed, then int and float are passed, so it is printed, then float and int are passed, so it is printed. I hope you get the clear idea how method overloading works. Guys, for now being it is all today. Now if you like my video, don't forget to follow and share this video. This is my Unacademy profile link. You can go there and follow me. Thank you guys.